Welcome to the 7th episode of the MousekaBros podcast. Hi, I'm Ryan.
And I'm his brother Randy. Be sure to like us on Facebook at the MousekaBros. We will be releasing new episodes every Friday, so make sure you subscribe to get the latest podcast. On today's episode, we have another segment of Love It, Hate It, Update It. In the series, we discuss topics such as attractions, dining, and all things Disney. As a reminder, we will give 2 Love It's, 2 Hate It's, and 2 Update It's. Today's topic is Hollywood Studios attractions. So we say Hollywood Studios attractions, but that's going to include live shows because Hollywood Studios only has 13 attractions. And that's, roller coasters, movies, and then they have a bunch of other shows. So like places like Epcot, who have 35 attractions, well, most of their movies like Canada, China, Italy, they're actually considered an attraction. So we're going to consider shows and entertainment is what Disney calls it in today's episode for Hollywood Studios, since there's so few.
Yeah. There's still so few. There's only 13, and Toy Story Land just opened, in June? So, yeah, with a new land opening and still only, 13 attractions, that's before Toy Story Land opened, and even they had Toy Story Mania shut down for a while. That was a rough time. It's like 10 attractions. I mean, really, you used to, before they started closing everything, used to be able to spend a whole entire day in Hollywood Studios. Before Toy Story Land, maybe not even half a day. Maybe more towards the night just to go see Fantasmic and stuff, but definitely not a full day park.
Yeah, I think it's important to note that Hollywood Studios, when it first started, it wasn't supposed to be like an attraction park. It was supposed to be a park that was about movies. So guests could see how movies were made. So it was a lot of these live shows. It was a lot more of sitting and looking and watching what's happened than getting on like a fast roller coaster and meeting Disney characters and stuff. It was about the movies. So it's, it still kind of stays true to its nature, but in doing that, it has just less attractions.
Yeah, you can definitely see them with the push of moving that out. Basically, they wanted to have a movie park to kind of beat and then coincide with Universal at the time, which was, I don't know. I guess what it had turned out to be was great, and I don't know. It did have that weird period, but now I think it's definitely on the upswing, especially with Star Wars. Galaxy's Edge is going to blow the rest of the park.
Right. But with
out of the water,
even when that opens, it's only going to add another 2 attractions to the list. So yeah, there'll still be a full day, but it's just not going to have a lot of attractions because that is what the nature of the park was. You could maybe consider Streets of America an attraction, but when that was open, it was walking through like the back lot, walking through how a city set would look.
Right. The movie making.
Right. And it was walking and looking. So it might be considered an attraction, but it's not an attraction because it's just looking at stuff.
Yeah. As the park as a whole, I like the Backlot Express, the studio tour where you got on the tram and all that. I missed that. I feel like that was like a second staple for the park other than the Great Movie Ride.
Yeah, no, I do agree with that. I think that kind of helped shape the park to what it is trying to be with the movies. I feel like taking that away kind of loses that aspect of that you're stepping into a movie.
Yeah.
Now it's just like you're, I don't know, stepping in with your favorite characters or something.
Yeah, you're physically in the movie other than, here's how we make a movie. And this is what goes into it, But I missed that attraction as its original state when the houses were up with just the front facades,
right?
And then the Lights Motor Action came, and then they were like, "Well, I guess we still have to keep this attraction."
Yeah, but it was less.
It was a weird flow for the whole attraction because it was like, you still got to see behind the scenes, but you were seeing behind the scenes of another attraction, which really, the attraction was about movies, kind of with cars and stuff like that, and high speed chases, but I don't know. It was a weird time. Like, I'm glad they just decided to close it off. Of course, well, they had to because of Galaxy's Edge, but I think they should have just got rid of the Backlot Express tour when they did the Lights Motor Action. But anyway,
all right. So let's get to today's episode. You can go first with your first love it.
All right. So my first love it is going to be actually Toy Story Mania. So it opened May 2008, and this was in Pixar Place, and then they redid the entrance, and so now it falls into Toy Story Land in 2018. The description of the ride on the app is ride and blast moving targets at the Midway style 4D shooting game starring popular characters. And it just says popular characters. It actually doesn't specify popular Toy Story characters, which is kind of funny.
And the app that he's talking about is the Walt Disney World app, where you can like look at wait times, kind of have the map directly on your phone.
So it was a fun. It is a fun game. There's tons of, as Randy likes to say, rewritability with it. The competitiveness of it definitely just wins me over every single time. Whoever I'm riding with, whether it's you, Randy, or my wife, Amanda, I have to beat them, and then I have to gloat about it. Only a couple times have I gotten best in car. Actually, one time, a funny story. We were there for an extra magic hours, and so it was one where they had it past midnight. Well, the ride kind of reset after midnight, and we had gotten on it. It was like it had just turned 12:01, and the leaderboard reset. So I was like best of the day, which made me feel, I should have taken a picture, but for those, probably the car behind me, couple minutes, I was the best of the day. Anyway,
he has the biggest grin on right now. He's just gloating.
How other people get that 500,000, I'll never understand. But I have learned that there are tons of hidden elements to it. Do this and you unlock this to get more points, or, combos and stuff like that. I can't remember all of them, but if you're interested, just YouTube Toy Story Mania hints, tricks, and you'll get hundreds of videos on it. And it's cool to watch, and then cool not to tell other family members.
And then just
and then they're like, "What? How'd you get that high score?" Which is like me all the time, and I'm like, I don't know. I guess I'm just good. No, but no, I love the ride. So as a fact of it, California Adventure has one. That one opened in June 2008. Tokyo Disney Sea has one that opened in July 2012. So it's definitely a growing ride. So much growing that it was so popular in Hollywood Studios that in 2016 they actually added a third track, which is interesting. That's only a couple of rides that I can think of that was so popular that they had to build another track or another house for it, which is interesting.
Yeah. We can just swing it right over to my first love it, because it is also Toy Story Mania. It's the perfect family ride. It does, like you say, bring out the competitiveness in people. And having the ability to, like, I don't know, get into like a match with like the person next to you and then laugh about it later. There's not a lot of rides that do that. Like Buzz Lightyear does it, Space Ranger Spin, but like,
Yeah, you control the car in that.
Right.
Like in Toy Story Mania, when the car, because the car spins, right? So you're playing a game, you're really into it, and then the car moves on to the next scene for the next game, and then your car just like spins 360, and you're like, whoa.
Right. Yeah, it's all very unexpected, and it's, I don't know, it's just awesome. It's that's all I can really say. It's just a great ride for everybody in the family to do, everybody to enjoy. You could stand outside the exit and there's never a frowny face that comes when they're coming off the ride. Everyone's super happy about it. So
if I had to pick a ride out of the new Toy Story Land that I liked, the most and would ride it 5 times in a row, it would be Toy Story Mania for me.
Yeah, I can see that.
I don't think Slinky Dog is great and Alien Swirling Saucer is great. They both bring different elements to the park that, it needed. But I just like Toy Story Mania. It's been there for a while and I like it. I think with Toy Story 4 coming out, that they might update a scene or a game with it.
That would be nice to see some sort of update.
So actually, for the Toy Story 3 release, about a month before that released, they updated the balloon game from Bo Peep to Rex and Trixie, to where Trixie wasn't even a character without seeing the movie ahead of time. So I hope they do that for this. I think that would be a really cool kind of change up.
Right. It'll be interesting to see if they actually change a game completely or just kind of do what they did when Toy Story 3 and just change a character.
Yeah, they could do that. I guess morally what I'll be excited for is what Toy Story Land will offer for the Toy Story 4 release.
Yeah.
The movie altogether. What is the land going to do? What's Disney going to do special in the land for that release would be really cool.
Dance party.
It'd be really cool to make a whole entire day to go to Toy Story Land in the morning and then head over to Disney Springs to the AMC there and then see Toy Story 4.
And then go back to Toy Story Land and have a Toy Story 4 dance party.
Okay.
No?
No,
okay.
probably not the dance party. No. Well, anyway, your love it was Toy Story Mania, so I guess I'll go on with my second love it.
Okay.
And that is Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular. So it opened in August 1989, which is... I was shocked when I looked that up. But anyway,
that's a lot.
Wow.
So
it's in the Echo Lake section of the park. And what the Disney app describes it as: cheer on Indy and Marion as they perform amazing stunts with blazing special effects to demonstrate movie-making magic. I think that's a pretty good description.
I think out of all the descriptions the app gives, that might be the best one.
Yeah. So, some of them can be interesting, to say the least, I guess. I like that you can be a part of the show. And, I had to say that because I have been an extra and you have been an extra
multiple times.
You can gloat about it. Okay.
If you're gloating about Toy Story Mania, I can gloat about being an extra multiple times.
So when our last trip together, in January, we actually both raised our hand, and the woman picking, the extras was like,
At first she was like, "Are you guys brothers?"
Yeah,
we should have said. We said yes. And then she was like, well, I'm going to take one of you.
Yeah, thinking that if we said, yeah, we're brothers, thinking that would be like, okay, well, I got to take both of you then.
Right.
No, that wasn't the case at all. She was like, oh, well, I'll take you then. And I was like,
and guess who she picked?
Wasn't me. So a little salty about that one. But I have been an extra, which is really cool. And actually, if you remember, we were little. We actually did the, where you say, lights, camera, action.
I do.
And then did the little clipboard thing.
I do.
I was like, he's probably not going to remember that.
I remember.
That's a precious childhood memory for me.
We also did the Tarzan.
Yeah, we did Tarzan that way.
Yeah.
And we beat on our chest like Tarzan or whatever.
And had to yell, and that started that show, the Tarzan rock concert. I can't remember what it was called.
I don't know. It was last week we did it out front of the house. No, but we did do that one too, and I think that's a neat part to do it, and what a great park to do that in. To be able to be a part of the attraction / show, and overall to be on stage during a stunt show, which is really cool. I mean, there's people flying around all around you, and it's a definitely neat experience. So if you definitely have the just raise your hand when they ask for volunteers. As a spoiler, I love the guy in the Hawaiian shirt. I feel, there's always somebody there in a Hawaiian shirt, which is funny. I don't understand, but for those who do, that never gets old. I think it's still really funny. But It's a great stunt show. I love the first iconic scene of it when he steals the golden idol and then the big boulder ball rolls down. I mean, that just screams Indiana Jones to me. And then after that, they literally move the whole entire set. And then,
off.
And all off. And then Cairo's behind it. And you're like, what? That was behind that? Or they just moved it? Or... Another funny thing I like about the show is the joke always about, that the boulder weighs, millions and millions of pounds and it takes a team of 16 people. And then you see like the two guys pushing the rubber ball back into its spot.
I would be okay if they changed that joke. It gets old a little bit.
I love it. I love it. Or when the one actor is joking with the stunt double Indy.
For somebody to punch him?
Well, that, and then he's like, you know what the difference is between you and Harrison Ford? He's like, what? About $100 million. I really like that line too. But anyway, to me, all of these attractions in Hollywood studios that have been around for forever, I love all the old, like quotes and just the historical of it.
No, I agree. I think it definitely would fall in a love it category. That's not my number 2, but it would, like, I completely agree with you. I wish though they would have something with the Crystal Skull. I know that's not a fan favorite of Indiana Jones. I know a lot of people don't like that.
Yeah.
But I wish with like the new movie, there would have been another scene or like an update or some sort of reference to the Crystal Skull. That would have been kind of nice. Right now they are rumoring, and rumors can happen or not, but right now they're rumoring that this stunt show would close and they would actually open kind of like an Indiana Jones land for him to have like a roller coaster, how they have in some other Disney parks throughout the world. But
I think Tokyo has
Indiana Jones they have an actual roller coaster.
Yeah.
And then the temple, I'm so sorry, I don't do names. But the one in Disneyland, that one. So it would be kind of, I wouldn't be upset if they opened in Indiana Jones Land.
No, I think he's a good, IP, if you will, that kind of goes unnoticed. You know what I mean? So,
well, see, here's the problem: is it relevant to me and you because we grew up with the movies? But generations under us don't really know the movies.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen them, this guy isn't anything. So is Indiana Jones still relevant? It's I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know what the answer to that question is.
I've said it before, but I would love if for the new Disney streaming service coming out, I think in late 2019 or sometime in 2019, it's definitely coming out. But I would love to see a young Indiana Jones series. I think that would be really awesome.
Yeah, that would be cool. I'd watch it. I'd watch a lot of stuff on that streaming service.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm thinking, do I cancel my current TV, subscription or not? Funny enough, actually, so I have Verizon Fios.
Shout out.
I guess, but well, you should have said that. But just a couple, maybe like a week and a half ago, I got an email from them saying, I should pull it up, but it's basically an email saying that they might not be able to make a deal with Disney to carry on Disney in past December 31st, which, right now it's January 3rd, but I was like mind blown. I was like, what do you mean they're not going to make a deal with
it? Because they don't want to pay for it.
Yeah, I think because they were asking for too much. I mean, but I don't know all the, tidbits of it, but I would imagine from what Disney offers, from ESPN, from Freeform, from the Disney Channel, Disney Junior, I mean, that's a lot of content for them just not to
have. Yeah, no, that is
to pony up and just pay.
Yeah.
But, I guess if Disney's really asking a ridiculous amount of money, which I don't know what is ridiculous amount of money, and comparative to all that. But
all of the TV shows that you just named, all of the channels that you just named, that's a ton of channels. Disney can ask that money.
I know.
And Verizon should pay for it.
Oh, absolutely.
This is getting off topic.
Yeah, I know. But completely. But I thought it was just very, very interesting. And I'm like, if and I haven't checked on it recently, but I mean, if that's true and Verizon doesn't, I guess, pay Disney, I might seriously consider like looking like oh, well, maybe I don't need FiOS anymore.
Just hold off for the stream.
Yeah, hold off for the streaming service because, from everything I've heard from the Star Wars series to countless other things like the shows, Kim Possible's coming on the Disney Channel. But anyway, everything they're offering just seems like it's worth the money. I don't know what they're going to charge yet, but whatever it is, I'm sure it'll be definitely worth it. Anyway.
Okay, back on track
I'm
again.
all about getting off topic today.
So we're still on Love It's, which my second Love It. My second Love It is going to be Slinky Dog Dash. I will start off by saying that this is kind of just what I hear from people. I have not ridden it. So,
How dare you?
I know. I was very up in the air about this. Because it's, to me, it's new, so I want to ride it. So I feel like that's why it's in my Love It. I might be a bit biased towards it because I haven't ridden it. So I'm very, I don't know. I'm just very interested to see. So that's why I'm putting in my Love It because I want to talk about it.
Yeah. I'm surprised you haven't ridden it yet.
Okay, look, we don't do English. We have said that many times. Don't
this show
judge
would
me.
never be sponsored by English.
To me, it seems like a great family coaster. Like it has speed in it, but it's not crazy fast. It has turns that are turny.
That's a great roller coaster description. The turns are very turny.
I don't know. Okay, let's pull up the description on the app. Take off on a family-friendly coaster as Slinky Dog coils twist around curves, hills, and drops. So it's like pretty much what I was saying, just they said it better and in one sentence.
Because Disney does do the English.
I think this ride fits into the area because, it looks like it's made out of, the Connects, pieces. It looks like it's a big...
Yeah.
Game, what Toy Story is with everything shrunken down. I like that it has the characters around it, because that's like cool to look at. And then I like at the very end how it has Squeaker, the penguin from
Toy Story. Singing "You Got a Friend in Me," which is really, really cool. I agree. It's a fun roller coaster. Everybody in the family can do it. It's not super fast, but there's just have been so many things, and just as I guess Toy Story Land overall has not been, I guess, what they have built it up to be.
Overhyped, you think?
Overhyped, but rushed. There's paint peeling. I mean, and with just the couple of months of it opening, paint peeling. And I'm sure some of that is, adults not watching their kids and they're like scratching on the paint or anything like that. But there's been that. The bathrooms overflowing, because I know you've never been, but literally all of the urinals are all like the kid ones. They're all very low.
Oh.
Yeah. No, there's no, I don't know who decided that. Maybe they just misordered them, but yeah, so there's been, the bathrooms have been shut down multiple times. I think I don't know how they fixed it, but I think they fixed it, whether it's just, more drains in the floor or anything like that. And then just today I was reading on WDWNT, shout out, that they removed the tail from Slinky Dog due to safety concerns.
What?
Yeah. So
okay, it's interesting.
The pictures look weird with Slinky Dog with no
tail,
tail. And then actually I don't know what to call it, but like the coils, the gray coils, they actually put like a gray like slip cover on it almost, because they were chipping and just looking rough.
Okay. I mean,
Not that I'm bashing Toy Story Land, because, it does make you feel like a toy in it, but, I think if they just would have spent a little bit more time, a little bit more money into it, they could have definitely improved.
Yeah, no, okay. I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you because I can't, because they're all facts. But I'm still going to put it just in my Love It, just because, again, I'm probably biased because I haven't done it.
Yeah,
if I do it, after I do it, I just might be like, that really doesn't deserve the love it category.
Yeah.
But it's something that I kind of want to talk about. So I figured that would be the best place because I can't say I hate it and I can't say it needs an update. But apparently you can say it needs an update right now because things are falling apart on it. So
yeah.
All right. Well, let's swing this over to hate it.
Swing it over to the hate it. Okay. So for my first hate it is going to be Voyage of the Little Mermaid. It opened January 1992, so it is now 26 years old. It's an animation courtyard. The app describes it as immerse yourself in unforgettable moments of this hit animated musical film, The Little Mermaid, at the live show Puppetry Extravaganza. Puppetry. Anyway. I mean, they are puppets, but anyway, it's aged. You can see that when you go into it. And I guess to say it overall, Animation Courtyard, I feel, needs some love. Animation. It needs to be
it does. Absolutely.
updated animation going back into Animation Courtyard. During the show, those like water misters that like make you feel like you're underwater. And though it's cool to look at, but when you sit kind of really close and under one, you get drenched, and that's not fun. And speaking of the water, I really hope that's not the same carpet from 26 years ago, and all the misters going on for 26 years.
That's a lot of mold.
There's no way when they like redo that and rip up the carpet that there's not like mold and asbestos issues or something like that. I don't think you understand asbestos, but that's fine. No, but there's got to be like black mold or I don't know something that I don't know. The show overall just I don't know if it needs an update to stay, the Little Mermaid or just a new show to replace it altogether.
Yeah,
I think with all of like the Broadway shows that Disney does. And I just feel like this is completely, it's completely the 90s, like way early 90s to me compared to what they're putting out now. It's like, it blows this show out of the water. I mean, like if you haven't seen it in its 26-year run, then, you're not missing much.
Yeah, no, I agree. That is actually my number 2 hate it. So, I think the biggest thing is that it just feels old. They've had a Little Mermaid musical on Broadway. It didn't have the same type of puppets. I will say that the saving grace of this show is the actual puppetry, because seeing Ursula the first time on stage moving how she moves and her glowing eyes when she comes out doing her song, you see it and you're just like, oh, like that is Ursula. She is Ursula straight from the movie. But like everything else is just, it's just not good. It feels old.
I know, and I know I'll contradict myself, but being 27, I'm sure the kids love the puppets, but I don't know. But even though in the same breath, I'll say that I really enjoy the Muppets. So
I know
I can't win that argument.
I think it just needs an update. I actually have a note here because for my read-write ability, I think it is an absolute 0. I think if you've seen this show once, you've seen it 50 times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's the exact same as the movie. There's no changes. They just do the songs basically.
Yeah.
I would like to see an update. If it was a animation, it was a show about animation and like all of the princesses put together or something. Kind of how they did with like Wreck-It Ralph. I know it's a little bit different because that's easier to do and not many live characters. But I think that would be cool. You just kind of mentioned Disney Broadway. What if they had a show there that was about making like a Disney Broadway show or something? You know what I mean? But it needs something that is not The Little Mermaid.
Yeah, I mean, Animation Courtyard. Well, Launch Bay. Like, what's that doing in Animation Courtyard? I know that was kind of just a hype, just to get like Galaxy's Edge up and running.
Right.
But I mean, did you need that? Did you really need a hype for Galaxy's Edge? I mean, it's it doesn't matter what it's going to be. Galaxy's Edge is going to be amazing. Even if Disney didn't put their money into it, people are going to come and see Star Wars.
Okay, so since we're moving on the topic, I'll just move right to my second hit it, and that is actually Launch Bay.
Well, funny enough.
Yeah, so it's a perfect transition. This opened December 2015 after the Magic of Disney animation, and that closed in July of 2015. The description the app gives is: check out props and models from Star Wars The Last Jedi, play games, snap photos, screen videos, and greet heroes and villains. What are screen videos? Does that just mean movie?
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. That's weird.
Screen videos.
That's a weird one.
I'm gonna be like, hey baby, you wanna watch a screen video tonight?
Maybe Disney doesn't do the English all the time.
Maybe they don't. I'm gonna start using that though.
Yeah, so to me, it feels like when they started releasing these new movies, they didn't have enough Star Wars in the park. All they had was Star Tours. And I guess that wasn't enough for them. So they did Launch Bay for a hype to get people excited for the movies, back into the movies. But now there's too much Star Wars. Because now you're going to have Star Tours, Galaxy's Edge, and the Launch Bay, which is across the park. It's going to become a Star Wars park.
It's definitely a weird mix with Star Tours, not being connected due to, Grand Avenue and Muppets there. And then the Launch Bay being completely on the other side, an animation courtyard, which Star Wars, I mean, I know they have the series and stuff like that, but it's very much not animation.
Yeah, no, not at all. I mean, the magic of Disney animation, they still have, not the exact same thing, but they still have that in Disneyland. There they have the Animation Academy, which is where you get to sit with an actual artist and draw your like a Disney character, and it goes step by step of how an animator does it, and it's like a 15-minute class.
Yeah,
and you draw a face.
Yeah,
and you see how much work goes into it, and it's really cool because me and you, we can't draw.
No,
but we start drawing with this guy, and next thing you know, we have Eeyore.
Yeah,
and it looks exactly like Eeyore.
No. I mean, I'm sad that they removed that attraction. But I have done it in California Adventure, and really that whole area before you go and draw the character is really awesome. They have like these huge screens, and all of them are projected on, different animated movies, and some of them are like the rough renderings of the movie, like of when they're describing it on the storyboard and stuff like that, which is really, really cool. I mean, these screens are huge in there.
Yeah, and also in that same building, they have Sorcerer's Workshop, which has it has like a bunch of wheels that you can draw on like a long piece of paper, put it in the wheel, spin it, and then it looks like
very,
it's moving.
very classic, animation.
Right,
I mean, that's how animation started.
Yeah. And then from there, it goes into the Beauty and the Beast library, where you answer a bunch of questions and find what Disney character you are. In that same building, they have Turtle Talk with Crush. You can actually voice Disney characters. I don't think we did that. I think that's a new thing. But you can voice classic. It seems that Disneyland, the Animation Academy, or the Magic of Disney Animation in Disneyland, is keeping up with the times. It's having new technology.
It has it going on.
Right. I feel like they didn't do that with the one in Disney World. So when Star Wars coming out, they're like, oh, let's create a Launch Bay, put it here. No one really does this attraction anyway. They had a movie with Mushu and drawings that talk about how he became what he became. I don't think there was ever a line for it. It was a 5-minute wait in quotation marks because there was no line. You could always walk into the Magic of Disney Animation and there would be nobody in there. Cool place to cool off, look at a couple things, and then leave. I feel like that's why they put Launch Bay in there. Launch Bay now needs to go. There's too much Star Wars.
Agreed.
Bring back animation. Don't bring back what originally was there. Bring back animation, but do it better.
I completely agree. Definitely bring animation back to what they call Animation Courtyard. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally agree. So then for my second hate it, right? So, I will preface it's not what I mean, but my second one is Walt Disney Presents.
Okay. I'm listening.
But I know, because, and I do like it, but anyway, so it opened in 2001 as Walt Disney One Man's Dream, and then changed to Walt Disney Presents in September of 2017. It's in Animation Courtyard / Mickey Avenue, because that's where you enter. You enter on your way to Toy Story Land, and then the exit of it actually drops you off right in the middle of Animation Courtyard, which is kind of cool. So the description of it is: explore Walt Disney's legendary creative legacy through a fascinating multimedia journey that includes rare artifacts. I mean, that pretty much sums up.
Yeah, I think that sums it up perfectly.
What it is, yeah. But I will say, the multimedia, I mean, I know they have clips, in there, but, the big draw at the end is the movie. When I go through something that is very Walt Disney himself heavy with his legacy, and his life, I don't want to get to the end and see, a trailer for a movie that's upcoming or a sneak peek. I can do that on my phone. I can do that on the computer, to look at, a trailer for the Nutcracker or whatever other, the Mary Poppins that just came out. I can do that on my phone. Yeah, it's, the first minute and a half of a movie, but if I'm going to see the movie anyway because I'm interested, I'm going to see that. It's not going to sell me, oh, well, I definitely have to go see that, or would it change my mind? No, maybe no. Yeah, definitely not. But I just had my whole life. Decision was right there. But it talks about Walt's life and legacy, and then it needs to wrap up what you just walked through, and so I believe it should go back to the movie with Julie Andrews,
The One Man's Dream.
Yeah, the One Man's Dream movie, which I totally agree. I also don't think it's a place where you should go and meet Star-Lord and Groot, or upcoming to meet Mike and Sully. If it's about Walt's life and legacy, not the place to do it.
Yeah, no, I agree. If they did update it, I would like them to not do One Man's Dream, but do a different movie, but like One Man's Dream. Maybe update it. I don't know. But yeah, I do like the entire walkthrough. I mean, they have like his original desk setup when he first started animating. Different technology he used, different techniques he used. Yeah, and then you go meet Star-Lord and Groot and watch a movie that's coming in the future. It doesn't like work as a whole. It seems like it's two separate attractions almost.
No, yeah, and I think it is, and I think that's why they changed the name to Walt Disney Presents, because it kind of leaves that open-ended. Oh, well, Walt Disney presents this. Walt Disney is presenting Mike and Sully.
Right.
It leaves that kind of open to put, whatever they want in there, which kind of doesn't work.
Right. I mean, they even have, I like right before the theater, they have, like diagrams of other parks and like what they look like, what Walt's vision was, when these parks first opened and stuff. So I think that's really cool. But then you get to the movie and you just lose me.
Yeah. I do enjoy all of the mock-ups and all that of the different parks and stuff like that. But if you have walked through it once since 2001, it's the same walkthrough. Yeah. It's the same, artifacts and stuff like that. So, not that I don't enjoy doing it, but it's literally, I walk all the way to the end to see if there's anything new, or if I hear something new, then I walk right back out. I don't even wait for the movie or anything like that. I did like that they had like a Star Wars Galaxy's Edge preview where they had like a fraction of like the diorama that they built for it. And then they had the same thing for Toy Story Land before that opened. I don't think that's there anymore now that it's open.
I would assume not, but
yeah. I'm sure I think they replaced it just with more Star Wars stuff, which why not? But
because it's a Star Wars park.
Yeah, but I think it just needs a total update overall. But if you haven't seen it in 2001, it's the same thing.
Yeah. Okay. So I like it. I like it. I think it works in either category. I think it can work in the updated or the hate it category. If you're talking just about the movie, it's hate it. But then if you're talking about the walkthrough, I think it's updated. But I think overall, having that movie meet and greet, I think it kind of swings it more to hate it.
Yeah.
So
for me, definitely.
Yeah. So I guess
we can switch to you then for updated, right?
Okay. Yeah. So my first updated is Muppet Vision 3D. Opened in May 1991. So it's been there a while. Not as long as Indiana Jones, but it's been there a while.
Yeah. Older than me by 1 month.
That's incredible. To me, the theater itself feels outdated. The seats feel outdated. They seem outdated. To me, that also gives like a dirty look almost, and I don't think that's what they're going for. With this, the only saving grace of why, to me, it stays in an updated is the pre-show. I think the pre-show is hilarious. It has so many funny jokes, which I really enjoy. They have I don't know any Muppet names, and I apologize for all the hate mail I may receive. But when the rat comes out pretending to be Mickey Mouse, and he's like, "Oh, these people don't know, they're tourists."
Rizzo.
Yeah. Sure.
Wow.
Yeah, the pasta Rizzo or rice. I don't know. No.
Do you even Disney?
Sometimes. Yeah. So, but
Only
when he
on the
comes out,
weekend.
it's so like that pre-show. It just has a lot of really funny jokes. The jokes in the actual show are funny with the old people up top.
I can't remember their names honestly either. But
they're hard under. It's hard under
I
pressure.
know.
That's why doing research sometimes helps.
pays off.
But again, they seem old because they've been the same jokes maybe since 1991. I'm not 100% sure, but it feels like they're the same jokes that have been there just forever.
Yeah. No.
Forever.
And funny because that's my second updated. We have a lot of similar.
There's only 13 attractions.
I know we're bound, but we've had one in every category. But so mine is definitely updated for me. Love the show, can recite most of it, but that definitely needs some love. I really enjoy the Muppets. I like their witty humor. They have humor for adults, and then they have humor for kids, which to me is Disney. I enjoy the Muppets, I'll say, when they do it right. Pizza Rizzo, wrong. No. The movie with Jason Segel and Amy Adams, I enjoyed that one. Muppets Most Wanted, the second movie,
no,
not so much. No, not so much. They actually did end up putting Muppet Vision 3D and California Adventure from 2001 to 2014. But in 2014 they got rid of it, and to no shocker, they now show sneak peeks for upcoming movies. I feel like, again, when you have an empty theater that you don't know what to do, they put sneak peeks for movies.
Right.
I just.
I mean, Muppet Vision 3D in Disney World is now seasonal. It is a seasonal attraction.
Yeah, which is crazy, and so is Pizza Rizzo. And it's just like, does that whole area need an update? Does it need to be Muppets still? I like Muppets. I like Muppets in the park, but they need, after Star Wars and all that's all done, and that definitely needs, I think, some love next. Some update Muppets.
For me, if they were to close Muppet Vision 3D, I find it very hard keeping Muppets in the park. And I think Muppets need a place in the park because they have such a strong history with Disney. So they need some sort of. They need something in the park. I don't know if it's a show, ride, just a store. But I feel like if they were to close this, it's hard to keep them in the park. It's hard to keep the restaurant and the store Muppets.
And if they just get rid of Pizza Rizzo or, turn it into something else and don't make it, and they just have Muppet Vision 3D and make everything else, I'm fine with that because that's how it's been. That's how it always has been. If they update the show, yeah, and I hope it's, great when they do it, and if not, go back to the old Muppet, the Muppet, movie they're playing now. I like it. I don't know. I mean, how many 3D shows actually have a live character come out.
Yeah.
And, and kind of interact with the animatronics.
Does that make it 4D or is it like 3.5D?
I don't know.
That's no one's ever answered that. No one's ever thought about that.
But I like that aspect part of it. I think the Muppets are hilarious. Do they need a new movie overall? Would that then
spark
spark,
right.
A new interest in it? Do they have that plan for the new Disney streaming service? All questions we can't answer here, but I'd be interested. Yeah. I'd like to definitely keep the Muppets around. Before this show opened, Jim Henson actually passed away in 1990. Almost literally right before this show opened, which I didn't know, but I think it's a nice kind of thing to still have the Muppets because it's the only thing that has the Muppets now.
Yeah,
and and that's my 4 cents on the Muppets.
All right. So I'll move on to
your second update.
Yeah, second updated. That it will be Fantasmic. Let me start off by saying that anybody who knows me knows that I love Fantasmic. I'm the type of person that needs to see that show at least twice. We normally only see it once, but if we saw it twice, I'd love it. I love the music, driving to places. I'll listen to the Fantasmic soundtrack.
Yeah.
Know exactly where the show is. It'd be doing the firework motions with my hand of how the fireworks come out. Like I know the show. I love it.
Does not everybody do that?
I feel like everybody doesn't do that, but they should. However, Disneyland is so much better. They just had their update in 2017. I guess, oh my gosh, I guess that's 2 years ago. So it's not just in 2017. That's crazy. But they had their update in 2017, and we were actually there because it was during the D23 Expo when they kind of opened it a day before.
Yeah, we were part of the panel that they gave basically everybody tickets to.
Yeah, they gave a special fast pass to if you were in that panel to go see it, which was awesome.
Yeah.
Having Maleficent at the end, that dragon just looks so real. Having Sorcerer Mickey, having the different characters, having Aladdin, it was such a nice touch to not have the same story. Similar music, but not the same music.
Right.
A different story. Having Pirates of the Caribbean come out, that was crazy. That used to be Peter Pan. So seeing that.
And they don't even do that in Hollywood Studios. They
do one. They do two boats. So the Disneyland does two boats. They'll do the Pirates of the Caribbean, and then the boat at the end that has all the characters and Steamboat Willie dancing and stuff. Disney World only has the one boat at the end that has all of the characters dancing because the heroes won.
Yeah, the big boats, not including the little boats with when the princesses come out and stuff like that.
Right.
I wouldn't count this, but
yeah, they're floats, not boats.
Yeah. Well, they move
in the water, so I guess it's a boat.
I guess it's a boat then.
But no, we're only So Disneyland is just so much better. Our Maleficent dragon, I think, is horrible. It doesn't look anything like Maleficent.
No,
I'm sure if Fantasmic opened in 1998, I'm sure in 1998 when that Maleficent dragon came out the first time and shot fire out of its mouth, I bet it just blew everybody away because it was nothing that they've ever seen.
Yeah,
we've seen it now. It needs a giant update.
I mean, it definitely looks like they just put the Maleficent dragon head on a giant boom arm, and then they just raise it up.
Well, it is actually a crane.
Yeah, I mean,
with some black cloth on it.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah, so it just doesn't work. I love the show. I never want to see the show leave. If the show leaves, I'd not go to Disney.
I don't think they could because they built that whole
amphitheater just for the show.
For that.
For the show.
But on the opposite side, what blows my mind is how Disneyland's is better when we have a specially designed amphitheater specifically for the show.
Yeah.
It blows my mind. But no, I totally agree. We saw the Disneyland one together, and that was really awesome. And back in, when was I there? May? Or June. I can't remember. One of those two.
Cool.
But saw it again. With my wife Amanda, and we were like, "Oh wow, this is awesome!" Yeah, so
yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, I think it just needs an update. Again, my heart goes out to Fantasmic. I love Fantasmic.
Yeah, no, it's a really nice,
yeah.
awesome show with
It's
the
just so,
pyrotechnics
it's so
and
unique
Mickey
with
and,
all of the Disney characters.
All the Disney characters for sure.
All right, so I'm done with all my stuff. I know you have.
All right, yeah. So
more.
my last update is going to be Rockin' Roller Coaster.
Okay.
So it opened in July 1999. It's towards the end of the Sunset Boulevard there, kind of next to the Tower of Terror. The app calls it Race Through the Darkened Freeways of Los Angeles in a super stretch limo to the rockin' tunes of Aerosmith. Which is awesome. I mean, the roller coaster goes from 0 to 57 miles per hour in 2.8 seconds and has 3 inversions. Which is really awesome for a roller coaster. I'm not giving it that. But there's a ladybug in the room,
there's
and
a
we
bug
just got very distracted. We don't do the bugs.
We don't
okay?
do bugs or English.
I'm gonna have to go downstairs and ask my wife to kill this. Anyway. So back to Aerosmith. To me, what does Aerosmith have to do with anything anymore in the park?
Yeah, I mean, they're getting a show in Vegas. So that's pretty cool.
I feel like, but that's where people go to. I mean, to me, like, getting a show in Vegas, I don't know. I mean, that's like, yeah, we're just trying to keep the band together. That's what that feels like to me.
I do. Yeah, I do hear that.
Like, we just love to perform, and it's the only way we can keep the band together. But I mean, the last real song, Aerosmith song that comes to my mind is "I Don't Want to Miss a Thing," and that came out in 2000. Other than like the music they had in the late 70s, early 80s that were a real good hit, but again at the same time I feel like at that time in the 2000s they were popular, and that's when the ride came out in 1999. So, but I think 2001 is when they started to downfall. It was like, who's Aerosmith?
So I mean, are you saying for your updated that it needs a completely new ride or a completely new layover?
A completely new layover. Keep the track. You could probably even keep the super stretch limo if you play it right. With music, but just new. I don't want to call it an IP because they're not an IP, but a new layover. Maybe with an IP. Actually, in during the 2018 D23 Expo in Japan, they actually have their Aerosmith coaster, but they're now changing it over to an Iron Man and the Avengers franchise.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Now I don't know all the legality of it, but they can't put the Avengers in Disney World because of
Universal.
And they're doing a Guardians of the Galaxy roller coaster already.
Well, so Guardians of the Galaxy, I know a little bit, just a little bit. Guardians of the Galaxy doesn't actually count as an Avenger. They're in the Avengers movie, but they are not part of the Avenger team, but they still are. So with that, it's more of like Captain America, Spider-Man, those type of people.
Yeah, the iconic Avengers.
Right. That kind of is what counts. If you see it in Universal, you won't see it in Disney World. That's why they can put, Guardians of the Galaxy, Ant-Man in, because it's not really being used by Universal, so Disney can kind of use it.
And now that you say Ant-Man would be really cool. Could you imagine blasting into the
Microverse?
Quantum realm or whatever?
Yeah.
That would be really cool. I feel like they could have the really big props in there and do it well. Disney, if you're listening, Ant-Man roller coaster.
It's also rumored for an Inside Out too. I've heard rumors about an Inside Out.
That, and I've also heard Monsters Inc.
Monsters Inc. could be cool because with all of the doors.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah, because I feel like if they did that, you would need to enter a door, have a scene. Like at the towards the end of the movie when they're going to the doors, they're in Japan, then they're at the beach, then they're in the mountains, kind of like that. I think that'd be hard to do with a track. Yeah, but something like that.
Yeah, I think the roller coaster's too fast.
Yeah,
for stuff like that. If you just had Ant-Man in your ears and you were on a secret mission and
In
he
the
was
quantum
just
realm, right.
talking to you like, oh, watch out for that car, and then a light shines on a big car
or something.
yes
Yeah, I can see
something of that nature, something it definitely has to be quick.
Yeah.
But and to me, I guess a ride needs to be updated when literally everyone in the pre-show is talking the pre-show.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. You can go into the
I think that's
pre-show.
kind of like the universal, like, yeah, this thing needs an update.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably have it on mute, and everybody in there would be saying all of the lines. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, we even say the lines
Yeah.
when we're not doing the ride.
No, yeah. It's very, very funny. I love the scene in the pre-show where it's like, hey, Chris, can you grab my Blacklist Paul? And then literally, Chris, not even in a blink of an eye, is like right there. He's like, oh, yeah, I'll get it for you. And then he goes like off the screen. But why did he have to yell for him if he was literally right there?
I feel like that's like part of the joke, though.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
So I actually have a fun fact. Well, I mean, I have two facts. The first fact's not fun. Katie, my fiance, would not like this part because Aerosmith is her favorite band. The first time she ever got on Rock and Roller Coaster, she actually cried because, she had Aerosmith blasting her ears at Disney with a roller coaster, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
So she would be devastated if this left. I, however, wouldn't. The fun fact that came to mind is Aerosmith was actually the second band that Disney came to. Do you know who the first band is?
The Beatles. No idea.
Oh, okay. Because a lot of people don't know who the first band is because they're not even a band anymore and they're a complete no name. So it's just funny that, Aerosmith was the second band and they've been in this ride ever since and everybody knows Aerosmith. Not because of the ride, but, because it just helped them.
Well, do you know the first one? I mean, how can you?
No, I don't know the first one.
How are you going to lead that up?
I know,
and not
that's horrible.
have that fun fact.
If you know the first one,
of who
leave
it
a
is.
comment on Facebook.
I can only imagine who they asked first.
Yeah, it was seriously a no-name band that was big in the
in the 90s. I'm sure.
Right when this ride developed, but then they turned it down because they didn't think it would do well. Boy, do they feel dumb now! I'm sure.
Was Smash Mouth?
No, it was seriously. I don't know. I don't. We don't have time to look it up. I can look it up later and put a comment under. But anyway, I think that's kind of we went through all the love it, hate, and update from me. I think I've said all I had to say.
I don't have any other final thoughts. We had a lot of similar interest in each of the categories, which I think was inevitable because like you said, they only have 13 attractions in it, so that's why we included the entertainment. But even then, still, we still had one in each category. But I'm glad to see overall Hollywood Studios getting an update. With Toy Story Land opened, Galaxy's Edge coming real soon. I'm excited to see what this park, has in store within the next, just 5 years.
Yeah, they can't stop at Galaxy's Edge. They can't.
Yeah,
they have something planned because
I'm sure
Disney.
There has to be an expansion pad specifically for Galaxy's Edge. Even if Galaxy's Edge took over and that's where they decided making all the money and they were like, oh yeah, let's just go ahead and just scrap Toy Story Land, which would be funny, but I could see them doing it because why not follow the money?
Yeah, that's
because money.
Yeah, Disney does follow the money.
But yeah, all right. Well, I got nothing else. If you enjoyed this episode, leave us a review as it helps us improve the show. And as always, be sure to subscribe to our podcast and follow us on Facebook. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.